What's up, y'all? It's Mr. 6'8" in the house, back at you with a new video. And look, the baby, aka Jonathan Kirk.
My daughter could have got hit, son could have got hit, me.
What's really going on? Okay, have y'all seen the recent footage that was released through an interview with Rolling Stone that did the interview with Craig's family, the guy that lost his life, okay, at the hands of the baby back 4 years ago in 2018 in Walmart? Well, if you haven't seen it, go ahead and come in here, take a look, sit down, grab a drink. It's a whole lot to sit here and dissect. Look, this is just too much. I don't know what in the world is going on with these people out here, but the baby, we tired of seeing your ass in the news, okay? This is like the 10th time you was in the news, and I know the people on the Shade Room is like, oh, well, every time I turn around, y'all must got a vendetta against the baby. Y'all always got something to say about the baby. Look, if your name is constantly being discussed in stuff that you have caused, it has nothing to do with the fact of somebody's name or somebody trying to set somebody up for the okie doke. It has everything to do with the fact of you are the problem, the baby, okay? With a name like the baby, what do you expect? Get into it, roll that beautiful bean footage. It's a new video. Here we go, let's get it. Okay, so basically this is how it go. 4 years ago, we really didn't even know as far as nationally who the baby was. Maybe some people did, but I did not, okay? So 11 weeks prior to this incident, he would have a whole situation that would change his life, which, he ended up signing a deal with Interscope Records, the baby, okay? And then, however, even though that changed his life, 11 weeks prior to that happening, he would take somebody else's life. And that person, unfortunately, was Jalen Craig, or Craig Jalen, rather. No, it's Jalen Craig. Now, look, so when the story first dropped, it was clear that, they were saying that the baby was saying it was self-defense when he was, as far as did what he did, as far as taking a shot, at Jalen Craig. But now there's video footage that contradicts his statement. So the baby initially said, from what I have gathered, is that he was in the Walmart shopping for baby clothes for his daughter who was with him and his, the child's mama, I guess. And that he saw these two men eyeballing him, okay? And I guess he felt like that his life was, as far as in danger or whatever the case. But nonetheless, it ended up leading to the baby pulling out a weapon in self-defense, according to what he had stated, okay? So that's kind of like the short version. Now, the technical version is that the family says that Jalen Craig, okay, and also his best friend Henry, who was with him, Douglas, okay, they're putting it in it as far as with the Rolling Stone, this interview that came out, that they were in Walmart, they saw the baby, they thought he looked like the baby, but they wasn't for sure because he was in like normal clothes, he wasn't like real flashy, real incognito. If you look at the video, he even had a hoodie on, okay? So they had been eyeballing him. And next thing you know, they wasn't for sure it was him, but I guess because the baby saw them looking back and forth at him, it ended up resulting in an altercation, okay? Now, the family of Craig is stating that the baby became annoyed because the teams recognized him and that the baby wanted to see him take the fight outside. Now, why you would sit here and feel, and I can say this is what I'm saying, there's so many sides to the story, why you would feel annoyed that somebody recognizes you and say, hey, let's take this fight outside, that part I don't understand. I didn't get that part. Maybe they left it out in the story or the interview somewhere, but that part I did not understand, that why the baby would feel annoyed according to what Craig's family is saying, and that the fight wanted to be, taken outside as a result of him feeling annoyed that they recognized them in the store. I mean, you are a celebrity. If that is the case, you are a celebrity, Dababy, and I don't know what else you would expect for people not to sit here and want to come up to you, hug you. I know people sit here and say respect boundaries, but I always say that this whole thing called fame, it comes at a price. People want the fame, but people don't want everything that comes with the fame, such as you can't go nowhere, okay? Your life is pretty much put out there in the public. Everything, you're under a microscope. It comes with the territory. And you would think that, and this is why I say you got to have a mature mindset, first of all, to even have as far as that kind of celebrity and stardom, and be able to handle it and not feel some kind of way when people don't respect your space. It comes with the territory. It doesn't mean that what they're doing is right. It just means that it's going to happen at some point or another. I mean, for goodness sakes, we saw Beyonce get pulled off of a stage by a fan as she was sitting here and singing. So it happens. Now, as far as this new footage, here it goes. This is what is being stated. Okay, according to the Rolling Stone article that came out. Walmart surveillance footage reviewed by Rolling Stone shows the pair entering the store around 6:30 p.m., laughing, both dressed in hoodies, tracksuit bottoms, and rubber slides. While walking around, Douglas recalls Craig spotted someone he thought looked familiar, a local rapper who at the time, Dababy, who went by the name Dababy. At first, Douglas tells Rolling Stone he doubted it was Kirk, who Dababy is also known as Kirk, simply because he wasn't dressed in a way befitting a hot rising rapper. And beyond that, this man was shopping for baby clothes in a Walmart. Douglas admits that as they kept looking, he took some extra glances towards Kirk to figure out if it really was him. So as of that point, okay, the stories are matching up. Dababy said that he saw somebody looking at him. Douglas, who is Craig's best friend, who was at the store that night, or day, or rather evening, said that, they did admit they were looking at Dababy because of the fact that they was trying to figure out is they him or not. I probably too would be like, what Dababy doing in Walmart? But nonetheless, keep going. That's when Kirk noticed them. That's what eventually started it. When he took it the wrong way, Douglas says, who is Jalen's best friend, Jalen Craig. We were trying to see who you are, and he took it as somebody is looking at him with a problem. So basically, because he's stating, Jalen Craig's best friend, that, Kirk, aka Dababy, felt like, hey, you got a problem. You looking at me like you ready to sit here and do something. Let's square up. And so basically, that's what it was, okay, according to their side of the story. Keep going. Kirk's memory. Kirk's memory, once again, of the lead up to the shooting aligns with Douglas, according to the 45-minute testimony Kirk gave to Lesser, obtained by Rolling Stone. In the midst of shopping with Osborne and their children, Kirk claimed that Craig and Douglas were staring at him. They are staring at me like they recognized me, like they was about to pull out a weapon. Okay, it's actually something else, but I'm just saying weapon because I want my YouTube channel to get shut down. Keep going. Like they were about to pull out a weapon. Kirk told detectives, adding that he assumed the teens were looking to cause trouble. What I'm hearing is they see me and my girl and my kids and think this is a perfect opportunity to do something to him. They're trying to get me to provoke them so they could pull out a weapon. Okay? So Kirk feels that his life is in danger. He has his family with him, and he feels like he has to be a protector. Okay? Keep going. So it goes on to say, throughout the interview with the police, Kirk repeatedly plays up being a loving, protective father, mentioning how he was doting on the daughter, holding up outfits with hearts, unicorns, planting, kissing on the 1-year-old, and giving her a lollipop. I can see that. Keep going. He alludes to the feeling vulnerable with two people allegedly lurking nearby while he was out with his family, confessing to the police to having a firearm on him. Both Douglas and Osborne told the police that Kirk initiated the conversation by calling out something to the effect of, "Do you know me?" Recognizing Kirk's voice, Douglas says, who is Jalen Craig's best friend, he responded back, "I said, oh, I thought that was you." We turned around and walked off. Douglas claims that he was about to say hello to a woman he knew in the store and walked past Kirk again, when Kirk seemed intent on creating an issue, demanding to know what he and Craig were doing and insisted on going to the parking lot to fight. Now, stop right there. So at this point, it does make sense a little bit how I can see how things got escalated this far, because basically it's being insinuated that, the people were looking at him, okay? It had already been an acknowledgement that he saw them looking at him. Then fast forward, here they go back circling around again. Yeah, would that seem suspicious? If that is true, allegedly, then yes, I could see that happening. Keep going. Kirk also claimed to the police that Douglas had first suggested the idea of fighting. Douglas, who is Jalen Craig's best friend, claims he had never been in a fight before, but because of an acquaintance of Kirk's seemed ready to get involved too. Douglas says he wanted to defuse the situation. Douglas says he agreed to go outside, thinking he and Craig could just hop in their cars parked near the entrance and leave. Okay? In a line with Douglas' account, as he takes a few steps back and slightly turns away, Kirk is seen on surveillance footage unexpectedly launching into Douglas, which is what we saw in the footage, okay, striking him in the head and nearly tackling him to the ground. He would later tell the police that he began to tussle with Douglas to try to get the jump on either Douglas or Craig because he was with his family and the two men allegedly would not leave him alone. Douglas, Kirk, and Osborne make no mention in police interviews of Craig being directly involved throughout the brewing altercation. And Bunton's death investigation report notes that in his statement to police, Kirk did not say he'll actually see a weapon on Craig until after Kirk began fighting with Douglas. Stop right there. Point, the baby is being said that the baby claims, that he didn't see a weapon on Craig until after the whole situation and him and Douglas got the tussling. Is basically what that is saying. Keep going. Let me just sit here and say that everybody at this point had even said that there was no of Craig being involved, or no mention of Craig being involved in the initial police investigation of different interviews taken in this altercation. Now, it is said that at one point after Kirk and Douglas start fighting, Craig reaches into the front of his waistband to pull out what appears to be a firearm, according to Buntlin's report. Craig moves towards the interlock man, puts his left hand between the fighting pair as if to pull them off one another, according to the report. Osborne then interjects herself into the scuffle, attempting to separate Kirk from Douglas before moving closer to Craig, pushing him and hitting him in the face, according to the surveillance footage. Stop right there. So now at this point, Craig is involved in the middle of the altercation, trying to break it up, and the baby mama, girlfriend, whatever you want to call it, partner, I don't know. At this point, she's also in the midst of it. And in the midst of it, her hands allegedly get put, she allegedly puts her hands on Craig too, basically. Okay? Keep going. Now, it is at that moment that Kirk is able to break free one of his hands, pulling out a concealed .40 caliber Glock from his waistband and firing it at Craig one time in the side at close range. Craig then stumbles before running into a nearby aisle, his body doubled over as splatters of, the blood leaving a trail behind him. A third camera angle shows Craig collapsing to the ground at the other end of the aisle. While Douglas claims that he never saw Craig draw a weapon, Osborne and Kirk told police that they saw Craig pull out a weapon out while the rapper was entangled with Douglas. Okay, so they're claiming that they saw Craig pull out the weapon while the rapper was entangled with Douglas. And Kirk told the police that he heard Osborne yelling, he got a weapon, which he mentioned the G word. I'm just replacing it. One witness, a Walmart customer, told police he saw Craig with a weapon in his waistband area, and another, a Walmart employee, said he also saw Craig with a weapon, according to the death investigation report, which ultimately concluded that prosecutors could not prove beyond a reasonable doubt that Kirk didn't act in self-defense. And that is where the problem comes in at, is that it is now not able to be proven that self-defense is off the table. So basically they're saying that he acted in self-defense because of witnesses saying that they saw Craig have this firearm that he brandished. And that's really the sum of it. I mean, I don't know how to sit here and summarize it any better, but that's really the summary of it. Okay? Now, what really baffles me that Even after all of this happened, the Huntsville Police Department did not even contact the family until 3 hours after her son had lost his life. Where they do that at? Now, the family also stated that upon Kirk being investigated in relation to Craig's death, that there was an expectation of a charge of homicide against the rapper, but while sitting in the attorney's office trying to find out the status of the case, they learned that Craig was claiming self-defense, and that's when they were shocked. Now, it's also being stated as well that Craig's family takes issues with multiple aspects of the Huntsville's Police Department investigation. This is the article that came out of Rolling Stone, okay? And so for starters, they're saying that the officers allegedly failed to interview multiple people at Walmart who were acquaintances of both Kirk and Douglas, and it also appears to be inconsistencies and omissions in Kirk's and Osborne's police testimony, such as Kirk skipping over how the physical fight started, not directly mentioning that he threw the first punch. Okay, so at this time, of course, with the article coming out today, there was no comment given by the Huntsville Police Department, which I too much did not expect, because of the fact that, I just feel like that there's something shady going on. I'm going to sit here and just call it the way I see it. Grandma said there's always two sides to the story. No, three sides to the story. There's his side, and the truth lies somewhere in the middle. Just saying. Now, the matter really comes down to the stand your ground law, which, if I'm not mistaken, the state stand your ground law says that basically that, it's a strong protection for those claiming self-defense. So basically, if someone acts as the aggressor and he or she initiates the conflict, he or she has to be able to show not just that the person was armed, but that there was a serious threat of imminent danger or physical injury. Okay? Now, once again, it goes back to me saying, because the video footage now shows Kirk being the aggressor, aka Dababy, but because there are witnesses, quote unquote, they are stating that, Craig had a firearm, that's where the whole situation comes down to play at. And that's why I feel like that, as of right now, Dababy is walking as a free man. Now, put a pin thumb in that, because I'm not trying to bring up no man's past, but I'm just saying, this ain't the first time that Dababy has been, in trouble. Okay? Run it through. Okay? Keep going. Back in March 2020, he was seen on video smacking a woman in the face for trying to film him at a club. December 2020, he was arrested for punching a promoter in Miami. Okay? At the time, those charges were dropped, but the promoter sued. He was also caught on video throwing a punch at Brandon Lee's girlfriend. Not Brandon Lee's, doggone it, my phone went out. Danny Lee's brother, I'm sorry. And then fast forward to April, okay? As of April, we saw him once again throwing another punch at somebody. So we all have seen Dababy do crazy things, okay? That are just really make you wonder. They really make you wonder about really what's going on in his mindset. I really do feel like that this man thinks that he is invincible. I feel like that he thinks he's above the law. Okay, I feel like that he does think that he can just pay anybody off or pull strings and get himself free, and that's why he does what he does without repercussions. And as long as the people, the court, the justice systems allow people to get away with this, it's going to continue happening. Now, as far as with the situation with the Walmart incident, am I saying that, his story versus Jalen's story, and his best friend, Douglas is not accurate, it could be some, as far as loopholes and stuff in there on either side. No, I'm not picking sides. I'm just saying that, this man has now lost his life. That's what it comes down to. Another man took another man's life. Okay. And to me, unless your life is in complete imminent danger, I'm just trying to understand, how did you justify it when we see clearly on camera you charging at this man? Even when I saw the extended footage, I still could not understand how this man ended up losing his life, okay, when he wasn't really even initially involved in the altercation. From what I seen, I saw your baby mama, I saw Douglas, but it seemed like that he was trying to break it up, and unfortunately, whether he had a weapon on him or not, he just got caught in the crossfire, y'all. That's just what I gathered from it. So continue to keep the family lifted up in prayers. I definitely do feel like that they have a case. You know, and we'll just have to see what the outcome is. But y'all stay tuned until next time, my fun sizes. I love y'all for free. Peace. Let me know what you think in the comments.